All right, so we're back for another deep dive, and this time we're looking at something a little different.
Oh.
Yeah. One of our listeners sent in this audio file called 0114.1.mp3,
Hmm. Interesting.
and we gave it a listen. And seems to be like this message about keeping the faith, staying strong,
Okay, I see.
probably with a religious angle to it, I'd say.
I see. So what are we going to be looking at today?
Well, figured we'd break down the main ideas for everyone and highlight the parts that really kind of hit home.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm curious to see what kind of insights we can uncover from this.
Me too. It's always fascinating to delve into these kind of personal expressions of belief and see what we can learn from them.
Right, and how they might connect to broader human experiences and themes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So let's jump right in. One of the first things that struck me about this audio was how the speaker creates this feeling of a one-on-one conversation.
Oh, interesting.
Like they're speaking directly to the listener, offering comfort and direction for getting through tough times.
I see, like a personal pep talk almost.
Yeah, exactly. And there's this deep emotional current running through it, especially around themes of faith, trust, and overcoming challenges.
I can see how that would be really powerful, especially for someone who's going through a difficult time.
Oh, absolutely. It's like the speaker saying, hey, I know things are tough right now, but I'm here for you. You're not alone.
That's a powerful message for sure. So how does the speaker convey these ideas? What kind of language do they use?
Well, the whole thing kind of hinges on believing in a higher power who was constantly referred to as me or I throughout the audio.
Okay, interesting. So like a direct connection with the divine.
Yeah. And this being is like a source of endless support, guidance, and love, especially when you're facing hardship. The speaker keeps emphasizing that you should lean on that strength.
Hmm. It's almost like a guidebook, but instead of telling you what to do, it's showing you how to approach life's ups and downs with hope and purpose.
Right. It really drives home the point that you're not alone on this journey, that there's this powerful force walking alongside you every step of the way.
I like that. So it's not just about blind faith, but about finding strength and guidance in something bigger than yourself.
Exactly. And you know what really struck me? The use of stories like David and Goliath and Moses parting the Red Sea.
Oh, yeah. Those are powerful stories.
Yeah. It's like the speaker saying, look, even the impossible becomes possible when you have faith.
Yeah.
These stories have resonated with people for centuries.
Right. There's such powerful metaphors. It's a reminder that no matter how big the obstacle, trusting in a higher power can make all the difference.
Totally agree. It's like that age-old message.
Yeah.
With faith, even mountains can be moved.
Yeah, I see that. And it makes me think about, research on resilience and the placebo effect. Simply believing in something can have a real impact on outcomes.
Oh, absolutely. The power of belief is incredible. I
Yeah.
mean, we see it all the time, right?
Yeah.
When people believe they can achieve something, they're much more likely to actually do it.
Exactly. And that's what's so fascinating about this audio message. It taps into that power of belief and shows how it can be harnessed to overcome challenges and find meaning in life.
So let's get into some of the key themes that really jumped out at us while we were listening to this message.
Okay, sounds good.
The first one, and this one is huge GE, is the incredible power of faith, even a tiny bit, to bring about massive change.
The mustard seed analogy.
It's like that saying about a mustard seed moving mountains. It's a powerful concept. Even the smallest amount of faith can have a ripple effect.
It's not just about believing blindly, though, right? It's about putting that faith in something bigger than yourself.
Right. It's like surrendering to a force greater than your own will and allowing it to work through you.
I see. That resonates with a lot of spiritual traditions, actually, where the ego is seen as a barrier to experiencing a higher power.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's about letting go of control and trusting in something beyond your own limited understanding.
Another theme that comes up again and again is unconditional love no matter what.
This is a big one, right?
Huge. It's this constant reassurance that your past mistakes or present struggles don't diminish your worth in the eyes of this higher power.
It's a powerful message of acceptance and grace. It encourages you to let go of any shame you might be carrying and to embrace this all-encompassing love that goes beyond human judgment.
Absolutely. And it reminds me of like psychological concepts like self-compassion and the importance of self-acceptance and personal growth.
Oh, for sure. There's definitely a lot of overlap there.
Then there's this whole idea of not just surviving challenges, but conquering them.
Oh, yeah, I like that.
It's like the speaker saying life will throw curveballs, But with faith, you're not just going to weather the storm, you're going to come out stronger on the other side.
It's a call to be resilient, to face hardship with courage, knowing that even when your own strength falters, there's this higher power ready to fight alongside you and bring you victory.
I love that image. It's so powerful, right? And it's interesting how this ties into the idea of an internal locus of control in psychology. People who believe they have control over their lives tend to be more resilient and proactive in the face of challenges.
That's a great connection. It shows how these themes, even though they're presented in a religious context, can have broader applications for understanding human behavior and well-being.
But it's not all about fighting and striving.
Right. It's
You know,
important to acknowledge that.
There's also this beautiful emphasis on rest and renewal, finding peace and strength in this higher power, especially when you're feeling drained or discouraged.
It's so important to recognize that you don't have to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders, right?
Totally. We all need those moments of rest and rejuvenation to recharge and come back stronger.
It highlights the importance of self-care and seeking support, both from within and from external sources.
Right. It's like that old saying, you can't pour from an empty cup.
Exactly. You need to replenish your own reserves before you can give to others, or tackle the challenges that life throws your way.
And finally, there's this idea of being guided towards a purpose, that you're not just wandering aimlessly, but that there's a path laid out for you, divinely inspired.
This is a theme that comes up in many different spiritual and philosophical traditions.
Yeah, like we all have a unique role to play in the grand scheme of things.
And that we're being guided every step of the way, even when we don't realize it.
I love that. It's such a comforting thought,
Yeah.
that we're not just random beings floating through life, but that there's a purpose behind our existence.
This speaks to the deep human need for meaning and direction, doesn't it?
Totally. We all want to feel like our lives have a purpose, that we're part of something bigger than ourselves.
And this message offers that comfort, assuring you that you're not lost or forgotten, but part of a larger, meaningful narrative.
It's such a beautiful and empowering message, right? And it reminds me of Viktor Frankl's work on finding meaning in suffering. Even in the darkest of times, having a sense of purpose can be incredibly sustaining.
That's a great point. It shows how this idea of purpose can transcend specific religious beliefs and speak to a universal human need.
So what I'm getting from this, just from these overarching themes, is that this audio is like a blueprint for a more resilient, hopeful way of approaching life, even when things get rough.
I think you're spot on. It's a powerful message of faith and resilience, suggesting that by embracing these principles, you can find strength, guidance, and a deep sense of purpose.
Absolutely. But there's more to it than just these overarching themes.
Oh, tell me more.
There are some really specific and intriguing details sprinkled throughout that we want to get into.
Well, I'm all ears. Let's dive into those details and see what other insights we can uncover from this fascinating audio message.
Okay, so one that really stood out to me was the emphasis on transformation and new beginnings.
Okay, interesting. What do you mean by that?
It's like the speaker is saying that real change is possible, both within yourself and in your relationships. It's like a fresh start, a new chapter full of potential and blessings.
And it's not just for the individual listener, right? It extends to their family as well.
Yeah, it's like this ripple effect,
Yeah.
a transformation that starts within and then spreads outwards to those around you.
This reminds me of family systems theory, where a change in one member of the family can have a ripple effect on the entire system.
Oh, that's a great connection. It shows how interconnected we all are and how individual transformation can have a much broader impact.
And it's not like this new beginning just happens passively, right?
No, definitely not. It seems to be about consciously choosing to embrace change and trusting in a higher power to help make those transformations happen.
It's about actively participating in the process of change, both within yourself and in your relationships.
And then there's this fascinating idea of divine intervention.
Oh, this is an intriguing one for sure.
The suggestion that the higher power is actively working behind the scenes in your life.
Yeah.
It's kind of mysterious and intriguing, right?
It's like an invisible hand guiding events, offering solutions and arranging circumstances in ways you might not even be aware of.
Right. Like when you've been struggling with a problem, and then suddenly a solution appears out of the blue.
There are all these mentions of subtle nudges and doors opening unexpectedly in the audio.
It's like the speaker saying, pay attention, there's something bigger going on here.
It encourages you to be more aware of those seemingly coincidental events and to consider that even things that seem random might be part of a larger, divinely orchestrated plan.
Yeah. It makes you think about the nature of synchronicity and how much control we really have over the events in our lives.
It's a question that has fascinated philosophers and theologians for centuries, and it's one that this audio message definitely invites us to ponder.
Another thing that really stood out to me was the emphasis on praise, even when things are difficult.
Okay, that's an interesting one. How so?
It's presented as a weapon against negativity and a way to align yourself with the higher power.
That's a really interesting point because praise in this context isn't just about feeling good, right?
Right. It's about actively shifting your perspective, choosing to focus on gratitude and faith, even when surrounded by challenges.
It's like choosing to see the light even when things feel dark.
Exactly. And that choice itself can be a powerful act of defiance against negativity, like choosing to acknowledge the good, even amidst difficulty.
This really resonates with cognitive behavioral therapy and the idea that our thoughts have a powerful impact on our emotions and
For
behaviors.
sure. Choosing to focus on the positive, even in difficult times, can be a powerful tool for managing stress and cultivating a more optimistic outlook.
And it's not about denying the negative or pretending that everything is perfect. It's about acknowledging the challenges while also choosing to focus on what's good and what you're grateful for.
Then there's this really beautiful message about overcoming shame.
This is a powerful one for sure.
The idea that no matter what you've done, the higher power's love is bigger than any past mistake.
It's a very powerful message of forgiveness and redemption.
It's like a weight being lifted off your shoulders. You can let go of the guilt, let go of the self-judgment, and embrace the fact that you are worthy of love and a fresh start.
It encourages you to break free from the chains of the past and step into a future where you're defined by love and possibility, not by your mistakes.
That's beautifully put. It's like saying your past doesn't have to define you. You can choose to let go of the shame and embrace a new beginning.
This idea of letting go of the past and embracing the present moment is a core principle in mindfulness practices, and it's clearly a key element in this message of faith and resilience.
And finally, there's this beautiful emphasis on communion and intimacy with the higher power.
Ah, yes. The idea of a close personal relationship with the divine.
It's not just about praying every now and then, but about having a constant, open dialogue.
It suggests that this ongoing connection is the source of deeper peace, guidance, and strength. A relationship that nourishes the soul and provides direction in life.
It's like having a direct line to the source of all comfort and wisdom.
And it emphasizes the importance of actively cultivating that connection, making it a part of your daily life rather than just reaching out in times of need.
Right. It's about nurturing that relationship, just like you would any other important relationship in your life.
And it reminds me of the research on the benefits of meditation and prayer.
Oh, yeah. Those practices have been shown to reduce stress, improve emotional regulation, and foster a greater sense of connection and purpose.
And these benefits can be experienced regardless of one's religious beliefs or background.
So much to think about from this deep dive already. It's amazing how much depth and wisdom can be packed into a single audio message.
What's really striking is how it touches on so many universal human needs. The need for hope, for purpose, for connection, and for a sense of belonging.
And how it offers a framework for fulfilling those needs through faith, trust, and resilience.
So we've talked about those overarching themes of faith, love, overcoming challenges, rest, guidance, and purpose.
And then we dug into some of the specific details. Transformation, divine intervention, praise, overcoming shame, and communion.
And all of this is woven together in a way that creates a powerful and inspiring message.
It's like the speaker is offering a roadmap for navigating life's complexities with resilience and a profound sense of hope.
And while the message comes from a religious perspective, many of these ideas resonate with broader concepts of personal growth and finding meaning in life.
It's a testament to the power of these universal human needs and the different ways we seek to fulfill them.
Exactly. And it makes you wonder, could actively applying these principles, even outside a strictly religious context, lead to a greater sense of resilience and a more hopeful outlook on life?
That's a really interesting question. It makes you think about how these principles might be applicable to a wider audience, regardless of their spiritual beliefs.
It's something worth exploring further, for sure.
Absolutely. It's food for thought as we continue our deep dive into the rest of this message.
I can't wait to see where this conversation takes us next.
Me too. We've only just scratched the surface of what this audio has to offer.
Yeah, it's a really thought-provoking question, isn't it? Could these principles, even if we view them through a more secular lens, offer valuable tools for navigating life's challenges?
It is, isn't it? And I'm kind of leaning towards yes.
Me too, actually. It reminds me of the growing field of positive psychology,
Sure.
which focuses on building strengths, resilience, and creating a more fulfilling life.
Right.
And some of the themes we're seeing in this audio message really overlap with those ideas, don't they?
For sure. Like even without adhering to, a particular religious doctrine, the core principles of faith, hope, resilience, and believing in something larger than yourself could have a significant impact on well-being.
Exactly. It's
Right.
fascinating, right?
It really is. Makes me think about the power of mindset, too.
Oh, absolutely.
If you believe you can overcome a challenge, if you approach tough situations with hope instead of despair, that shift in perspective alone can make a huge difference.
It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy, right?
Instantly.
If you believe in your ability to persevere, if you trust that there's a way forward even when you can't see it yet, you're more likely to find solutions and navigate challenges with greater resilience.
And think about the strength people draw from things like nature, art, community,
Yes.
or a sense of purpose that connects them to something bigger than their individual lives.
Right. It's that sense of belonging to something larger than yourself.
Mhm.
Even if it's not a traditional deity, it can be incredibly powerful.
Absolutely. It really highlights that innate human desire for connection, for meaning, for something that transcends everyday struggles and offers a sense of grounding and perspective.
And even the emphasis on praise and gratitude can be viewed through this secular lens.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, studies have shown that practicing gratitude regularly can positively impact mental and emotional well-being.
It is fascinating how practices, often associated with religious traditions, are now being recognized for their psychological benefits, regardless of one's spiritual beliefs.
It speaks to the universality of these practices and the underlying human needs they address.
But let's circle back to the audio for a moment. One thing that really struck me was how the message spoke directly to the listener, almost like a personal conversation.
Oh, yeah, that direct address is really powerful.
It felt incredibly intimate and genuine, like the speaker was right there with you, offering guidance and support.
It creates a sense of closeness and immediacy, for sure.
Right. And it wasn't just about receiving messages passively either. It was about actively engaging in a dialogue with this higher power.
That's a key point, that back and forth exchange.
Mhm.
It's not about blindly following instructions, but about cultivating a dynamic relationship where you feel heard and supported.
And that's where the idea of communion comes in, right?
Exactly. It's about nurturing that constant connection, not just in times of need, but as an ongoing source of strength and guidance.
It's about weaving that connection into the fabric of your daily life.
Right. Integrating those principles of faith, hope, and resilience into your thoughts, actions, and interactions with the world around you.
Okay, so this deep dive is making me rethink the power of these ideas, regardless of whether you approach them from a religious or secular perspective. What stands out to you about this audio so far?
What really strikes me is the power of belief itself.
That's interesting.
Whether it's faith in a higher power, trust in a supportive community, or even belief in one's own resilience.
Yeah.
That inner conviction seems to be a key factor in overcoming obstacles and navigating life's complexities.
It's like that saying, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right.
Exactly. Belief is a powerful force, and this audio message underscores how choosing to believe, even when things are tough, can make all the difference.
And it's not about blind faith either, right?
No, definitely not.
It's about aligning your actions with your beliefs, about actively engaging in practices that cultivate hope, resilience, and a sense of purpose.
It reminds me of the idea of fake it till you make it, but on a deeper level.
Oh, yeah?
It's not about pretending,
Mm-hmm.
It's about choosing to act as if you already possess the strength and faith you desire.
Right.
And in that act of choosing, you start to embody those qualities.
It's like setting an intention and then taking steps to align your actions with that intention.
Exactly.
And over time, those actions reinforce the belief, creating a positive feedback loop that can lead to real change.
That's a great way to put it.
So we've covered a lot of ground here, from those core themes of faith, love, and resilience to the intriguing details about transformation, divine intervention, and praise.
It's been a rich conversation for sure.
Is there anything else about this audio that stands out to you?
You know what? I think what's particularly striking is how the audio seems tailored for a specific audience.
Yeah.
Someone who might be wrestling with doubts, fears, and uncertainty about their path in life.
Yeah, I see that. It's like the speaker knows exactly what this listener is going through.
Right. And they're addressing those anxieties directly, offering reassurance and a roadmap for navigating those difficulties.
It's almost like they're saying, I see you, I hear you, I understand what you're going through, and I'm here to walk with you through it.
That's a powerful message for anyone who's feeling lost or alone.
It really is. That sense of personal connection probably makes the message even more powerful.
For sure, like a private conversation between two people who understand each other's struggles.
So is there anything else about how the message is crafted that contributes to its effectiveness?
Definitely. The language itself is both poetic and impactful, full of vivid imagery and metaphors that bring the message to life.
Okay, I like that.
For example, when the speaker talks about storms raging or mountains moving,
Yes,
you can almost feel the intensity of those experiences.
it's true. Those metaphors create a sense of drama and urgency, emphasizing the magnitude of the challenges, but also the power of faith and trust to overcome them.
And think about how the speaker describes love.
Okay.
It's not just an abstract concept. It's described as a shield, a refuge, a source of strength.
It's like they're giving tangible form to these abstract ideas, making them more real and relatable for the listener.
Exactly. It's not just intellectual, it's emotional. It evokes a sense of security and comfort.
Reminding you that even when surrounded by difficulties, you are enveloped in a love that protects and sustains you.
Right. It's a beautiful image.
The language really is a crucial element in how effectively this message comes across, isn't it?
It is. It draws you in, engages your emotions, and makes the ideas more memorable and impactful.
It really shows how a carefully crafted message can resonate with people on such a deep level.
It's almost like the speaker is painting a picture with words,
Yeah.
creating an experience for the listener that goes beyond just understanding the concepts, but actually feeling them.
And speaking of crafting the message, I'm curious about the speaker's use of repetition.
Oh, that's a good observation.
Certain phrases and themes come up again and again throughout the message.
Right. And I think that's deliberate. It's a way of emphasizing those key points, driving those ideas of faith, love, resilience, and trust deeper into the listener's subconscious.
It's like a gentle reminder, subtly reinforcing those ideas, making them stick with the listener long after the audio has ended.
Exactly. And it's not just repeating the exact same words either, right? It's more about exploring those themes from different angles, using various metaphors and stories to illustrate the same underlying principles.
Oh, absolutely.
Ah,
It keeps the message engaging and prevents it from feeling repetitive or monotonous.
it speaks to the speaker's skill in crafting a message that is both impactful and memorable.
But I do think the repetition itself serves a purpose.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's a way of emphasizing those key points, driving those ideas of faith, love, resilience, and trust deeper into the listener's subconscious.
It's like a gentle reminder, subtly reinforcing those ideas, making them stick with the listener long after the audio has ended.
It's a clever way of ensuring those core messages resonate and stay with you, becoming almost like mantras you can draw on in times of need.
And it's not all about passive listening, is it?
Right. There's a definite call to action embedded in this message.
The speaker encourages you to speak these words aloud,
Yes.
to make the effort to believe, to lean into the higher power, and to actively engage in that relationship.
Those calls to action are essential for moving the listener from contemplation to action,
Yeah.
encouraging them to take ownership of their faith and integrate these principles into their lives.
It's like the speaker is saying, don't just listen to this message. Let it change you. Let it transform how you approach life, your challenges, and your relationships.
It's a powerful invitation to move from passive listening to active participation, to make these principles a living, breathing part of your existence.
It reminds me of the saying, faith without works is dead.
So we've explored the language, the direct address, the repetition, and even the call to action.
We've covered a lot of ground, haven't we?
What stands out to you most about how this message is crafted?
It's the speaker's ability to blend the personal and the universal, On one hand, it feels like a deeply personal message, tailored to someone facing very specific challenges. But on the other hand, it taps into these profound human needs that we all share, regardless of our backgrounds or beliefs.
Like they understand your unique struggles, but you're not alone in this.
Exactly.
There's a shared human experience that connects us all.
Right, and by addressing both the individual and the collective, the message becomes even more powerful. It offers comfort and guidance for your specific situation while reminding you that you're part of something much larger.
It's like the speaker is holding space for both the individual and the collective, acknowledging the unique challenges we each face while reminding us of our shared humanity.
Exactly. And I think that's what makes this message so resonant. It speaks to both our hearts and our minds, offering a path to healing and growth on both a personal and a collective level.
It really does make you think about how we approach challenges in life. Do we allow ourselves to feel isolated and overwhelmed, or do we seek out connection, meaning, and a sense of purpose to guide us through?
It's a choice we face every day, isn't it? And this audio message offers a powerful reminder that choosing faith, hope, and resilience, even when things are tough, can make all the difference.
It reminds us that we have more agency than we often realize. We can choose how we respond to difficult situations, and we can choose to cultivate those inner resources that help us stay strong and hopeful, even when the world feels chaotic.
And it reminds us that seeking connection with something larger than ourselves, whether that's a spiritual practice, a community, or even a deep connection with nature, can be incredibly sustaining.
It's funny, we started this deep dive with a single audio file, and it's opened up all these avenues of exploration from psychology and sociology to philosophy and spirituality.
It's a testament to the richness of this message and how it touches upon these universal human themes that we all grapple with.
And to your insights too, of course. They've been so valuable in connecting these ideas to broader concepts and really bringing the discussion to life.
Well, thank you. It's been a fascinating journey, and I'm grateful to have shared it with you. And I'm especially grateful to you, the listener, for providing us with this thought-provoking material.
Absolutely. So as we wrap up this deep dive, we encourage you to continue exploring these ideas, to reflect on the principles that resonated with you, and to consider how you might apply them in your own life.
Remember, even the smallest act of faith, the tiniest spark of hope, can ignite a fire of transformation within you and ripple out to the world around you.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We'll see you next time for another exploration into the depths of human experience.